Hi, this is Kuziva Kwashe Mushonga, and this is my presentation on the entrepreneurship interview that I conducted with Gary Chancellor. Now, Gary and Isabel Chancellor are the founders of Ingenuit Incorporated, and Ingenuit Incorporated is a company that provides what Gary calls the meat and potatoes of a business. And by that, he means they provide things like software solutions for accounting, for human resource, for inventory management, things that you expect any business to have a need for. In their case, though, they provide the services mostly to government entities and large corporations. One of my questions for Gary was that small in terms of what made him want to build his own business. And like a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a personal touch to this story. And for Gary and Isabel, it was because they have two sons who are both autistic. And one of their desires was, and still is, that they want to provide a foundation so that they can take care of their children very well. They also realized from, especially Gary, from his previous work experience, that there are certain things that small companies really can do better than larger corporations. Also, in his past, he had had some experiences with poor managers. And as Gary puts it, sometimes if you want something done right, you must do it yourself. And I think that's a sentiment that's very common amongst entrepreneurs. There's certain things that you see and you say, hey, there's a problem here, and I can definitely provide a solution here better than the company that I'm working for right now or others in the industry. I also asked Gary about, that spark. What would give him confidence to leave what could have been a secure job with a large corporation and just jump in? And as Gary tells the story, he said one day he was just driving here in the Oklahoma area, close to Sunny Lane and 89th Street, and there's a propane business there. And Gary said he stopped and pulled over and he looked at that company and he said to himself, if Red Baker could do this, now Red Baker I think is the owner of the business. He said, if Red Baker can do this, and I don't know who Red Baker is, but according to Gary, it was like, if this man can do something like this, I can certainly start my own business. And I think this speaks to a lot of entrepreneurs. We get our inspiration from others' successes and sometimes others' failures, but we're not just doing things out of nowhere. We really are learning from the experiences of others who have gone before us. A question that I think most entrepreneurs have, or people going into business have, is what are some of the business risks that we must consider? And in Gary's case, one of the things he mentioned was that starting small, you had to be careful that, if a larger corporation or larger business owner came up into the same business area that he was in, he could lose it all. So for him, that was really one of the biggest risks that he had to consider. And again, financial security is a risk, but sometimes we don't think about it as much because we expect the business to make us money. So my question to Gary was, were you financially secure to take this step? And as Gary explained to me, that he had at least 3 months of money saved up to pay bills, and he also had 3 months worth of credit extended to him. And one thing that Gary did that I thought was amazing is he targeted mostly the government, because he knew that the government had a law that said all of the bills had to be paid within 30 days. So even if he had to make some do with not getting paid for a little while, he knew that at least within 30 days he'd get that money. So his 3 months of savings and the 3 months of credit would really not turn into a burden, because he would still have enough money to pay his bills, but he would have enough cash flow coming in from the government to pay the bills after that. So I think that financial security is a big deal, but planning ahead would make it a lot easier. I also asked Gary, how do you measure success? Because we've talked about money, we've talked about risk. And his answer was really extraordinary. He said he measured success based on customer satisfaction and employee satisfaction. Am I taking care of my team? And am I taking care of the people that have trusted me with their businesses? I think that is really something that I myself would emulate. Some of my takeaways from the interview are summarized here. And one of the ideas is ideas don't pay bills. Now, I have great ideas for business, like a lot of people have great ideas for business. But if you don't actually take those ideas to the next step where they become work, the ideas will die as ideas. And the second thing is businesses need to make money. Now, depending on the business that you choose, if you choose a non-profit versus a for-profit business, that could be a different sentiment altogether. But if you choose a for-profit business, then you really have to realize if you don't make money, you're going to be out of business. But the third thing is what solidified it for me. It's not just about going to people and saying, give me your business. It's not about going to people and say, come work for me. It really comes down to being a reliable and seeking reliable people to partner with. These lifetime opportunities, the doors that will be open for you, they don't come out of just your acumen for business, but they come out of people realizing the value that you bring into their life. Now, I found a lot of value in this class, and I think as moving forward, I'll take the lessons from this class and also the lessons from this interview, and that should really help me in defining who I want to be as an entrepreneur and also setting goals that I want to achieve. So that is my presentation. Thank you.